Hello, and welcome to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host. And today, we have an exciting episode for you. If you've ever struggled with improving your English fluency, pronunciation, or confidence, then this episode is for you.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most effective techniques for learning English: shadowing. This is a powerful method that can help you sound more natural, speak more fluently, and improve your listening skills at the same time.
Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is shadowing? Well, it's a simple but powerful technique where you listen to English audio and repeat it immediately, word for word, like an echo. It helps you develop a natural rhythm and pronunciation, just like native speakers.
That's right. Shadowing is not just about repeating words, it's about training your brain to think in English and speak without hesitation. Many successful English learners, even professional speakers, have used shadowing to reach fluency.
If you've been looking for a fun and effective way to practice speaking English without a partner, then stay with us. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to use shadowing to take your English to the next level.
So grab your headphones, find a comfortable spot, and let's dive into how shadowing can transform your English.
All right, let's start with the basics. What exactly is shadowing?
Shadowing is a language learning technique where you listen to native English speech and immediately repeat what you hear, word for word, without pausing. Imagine you're a shadow, copying every sound and rhythm instantly.
Yes. Think of it like being an echo. When you hear a sentence, you repeat it right away, mimicking the pronunciation, speed, and tone of the speaker.
Let's do a quick demonstration. Jason, say a simple sentence in English and I'll shadow you.
Clearly and naturally, English is fun to learn if you practice every day.
Immediately repeats with the same rhythm and tone. English is fun to learn if you practice every day.
See? Julia didn't just repeat the words. She copied my intonation, pronunciation, and rhythm. That's the key to shadowing.
There are actually different styles of shadowing. Let's go through them quickly.
This is when you repeat immediately after hearing the speaker, like Julia just did. It's great for fluency and pronunciation, but can be challenging at first.
With this method, you listen to a sentence first, then pause and repeat it. This is helpful for beginners who need a little more time to process the words.
This is when you practice with slower audio, like beginner-friendly podcasts or audiobooks. It's great for improving pronunciation and confidence.
The best part about shadowing is that it forces your brain to think in English, not translate. That's what makes it one of the fastest ways to sound more natural.
Exactly. It's like training your mouth and brain at the same time. The more you shadow, the more confident and fluent you become.
Now that you know what shadowing is, let's talk about why it works so well for English learners.
All right. Now that we know what shadowing is, let's talk about why it works so well for English learners. One of the biggest benefits? It improves your pronunciation.
That's right. When you shadow, you're not just repeating words, you're copying the native speaker's pronunciation, stress, and intonation. Over time, this helps you sound more natural and clear.
Think about it. When babies learn to talk, they listen to their parents and imitate them. Shadowing works the same way. Instead of guessing how to pronounce a word, you just copy how a native speaker says it.
This is a big one. Shadowing helps you stop translating in your head and start thinking in English naturally.
Exactly. Many English learners struggle because they translate from their native language before speaking. But with shadowing, you're training your brain to hear, process, and speak in English directly without needing translation.
Over time, this makes speaking English faster and more automatic. No more long pauses trying to find the right words.
One of the best things about shadowing is that it's a two-in-one exercise. You improve both listening and speaking skills at the same time.
That's true. When you listen closely to a native speaker and repeat what they say, you're training your ears to understand natural English speech while also practicing speaking.
And since you're focusing on intonation, rhythm, and pronunciation, you also get used to how English really sounds in conversations.
Many English learners feel nervous about speaking, but shadowing helps build confidence because you get used to hearing your own voice in English.
Yes, at first, it might feel strange to repeat after someone, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and soon you'll feel more comfortable speaking English in real conversations.
And the best part? You don't need a partner. You can practice shadowing alone, anytime, anywhere. It's like having a personal speaking coach.
So now that we know why shadowing is so powerful, let's go step by step on how to do it correctly. Stay with us. All right. Now, let's go step by step on how to practice shadowing correctly. The first step is choosing the right audio.
That's important. You should pick something that's clear, natural, and at your level. If it's too fast or complicated, it'll be frustrating.
Great choices include podcasts, audiobooks, news reports, or YouTube videos. And for beginners, I recommend using content with subtitles so you can follow along.
Exactly. And if you're just starting out, try slow-speed English podcasts or videos made for learners.
Before you start shadowing, take a moment to just listen to the audio.
Yes, don't repeat yet, just focus on understanding the words, pronunciation, and rhythm of the speaker.
This helps your brain get familiar with the sentence structure and tone before you start speaking.
Now comes the fun part, shadowing. As soon as you hear a sentence, repeat it immediately like an echo.
Try to match the speaker's tone, pronunciation, and speed as closely as possible. It's okay if you don't get it perfect. Just keep going.
And don't pause or stop. Even if you miss a word, keep speaking so your brain gets used to the flow of English.
If shadowing at full speed is too difficult, you can try slowing down the audio.
Many apps like YouTube and podcast players let you adjust the playback speed. Try slowing it to 0.75x speed so you can follow along more easily.
This is a great way to build confidence before moving to full-speed shadowing.
One of the best ways to improve is to repeat the same clip several times. Each time, you'll understand more and sound better.
That's true. The first time might be difficult, but by the third or fourth time, your pronunciation and fluency will improve a lot.
Exactly. And if you practice the same short clip for a few days, you'll notice your speech becomes more natural and confident.
Here's a pro tip: record yourself shadowing and compare it to the original speaker.
Oh, that's a great idea. This helps you hear your own pronunciation and see what needs improvement.
You might notice small mistakes in intonation, stress, or rhythm, and you can fix them by practicing more.
So those are the 6 steps. If you follow them, you'll start seeing big improvements in your speaking skills.
Now that we know how to practice shadowing, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid. Stay with us. All right, now that we know how to practice shadowing, let's talk about the best types of content to use. First on the list, podcasts for English learners.
That's a great choice. Podcasts are perfect because they have clear pronunciation, natural conversations, and different accents.
Exactly. And some podcasts are made specifically for English learners, so they speak a little slower and use everyday vocabulary.
Yes, some great examples include the British Council podcast, the BBC Learning English podcast, and of course, the Easy English Talk podcast.
Another great option? Audiobooks. You can listen to a story and shadow the narrator.
That's right. Audiobooks are amazing because they have proper pronunciation, clear speech, and storytelling intonation.
And if you use an ebook alongside it, you can read the subtitles while listening to help you follow along.
Some good beginner-friendly audiobooks are The Little Prince, Charlotte's Web, and The Alchemist.
YouTube is another fantastic tool for shadowing. There are so many videos with English conversations, interviews, and even lessons.
Yes, the key is to find videos with accurate subtitles so you can follow along.
A good tip is to use channels that teach English naturally, like BBC Learning English TED Talks and Easy English Talk.
For more advanced learners, shadowing movies and TV shows can be a great challenge.
That's right. Since movies have real-life conversations, different accents, and natural expressions, they help you sound more native-like.
But it's best to start with movies that have clear and slow dialogue, like Friends, The King's Speech, or The Pursuit of Happiness.
Great choices! And don't forget, you can slow down the playback speed if the dialogue is too fast.
So, these are some of the best types of content for shadowing. Choose the one that fits your level and start practicing.
Now, let's talk about common mistakes to avoid when shadowing so you can get the best results. All right, now, let's talk about some common mistakes people make when shadowing and how to fix them. The first mistake, speaking too fast without understanding.
Oh yes, some learners try to copy the speaker's speed but don't really understand the words they're saying.
That's right. If you don't understand what you're saying, shadowing won't help much.
So, what's the fix? Listen to the audio first without speaking. Try to understand the meaning before you start shadowing.
And if it's too fast, slow it down using YouTube or a podcast app. Take it step by step.
Another mistake is mumbling instead of speaking clearly.
Exactly. Some learners don't fully open their mouths or pronounce words properly when shadowing.
That's because they focus too much on speed and forget about clarity.
A great fix. Record yourself. When you listen back, check if your words are clear and understandable.
And practice speaking slowly at first to build good habits.
Here's another big mistake, skipping difficult words.
Yes, some learners just ignore words they don't know instead of trying to say them.
But skipping words means you won't improve your pronunciation.
A simple fix: pause the audio, look up the word, and practice saying it before continuing.
Yes, break it down into syllables and repeat until you get it right.
This next mistake is sounding flat while shadowing. Some learners copy the words but don't match the intonation or rhythm of the speaker.
That's a big one. English has a natural rhythm, and if you don't copy it, you won't sound natural.
So, how do you fix this? Pay attention to how the speaker's voice goes up and down.
Exactly. You can even use your hand to follow the speaker's voice movement. This helps you match their natural flow. And the biggest mistake? Giving up too soon.
Oh yes, some learners expect instant results and quit if they don't see progress quickly.
But shadowing takes time and practice. Even native speakers improve their pronunciation with practice.
That's why you should be patient, practice daily, and track your progress.
Exactly. Improvement happens step by step. Keep going and you'll see results.
So, those are some common mistakes and how to fix them.
Next, let's talk about how to make shadowing more effective and enjoyable so you stay motivated. All right, now it's time for a fun challenge. If you've been listening so far, we want you to take action.
Yes, we challenge you to try shadowing for 7 days. Just a few minutes every day can make a big difference.
Here's how it works. Step 1. Choose your content. Pick a short podcast, a YouTube clip, or an audiobook passage that interests you.
Step 2. Listen to it once without speaking. Focus on understanding the meaning first.
Step 3. Start shadowing repeat after the speaker, copying their pronunciation, rhythm, and tone.
And Step 4. Record yourself on day 1 and again on day 7. Compare your progress.
We'd love to hear from you. After completing the challenge, let us know how it went.
You can comment on this podcast, send us a message, or even post your recording online using Shadowing Challenge.
That's right. The key is to stay consistent and have fun with it.
We believe in you. Are you ready? Let's start shadowing.
Before we wrap up, let's leave you with some final tips to make shadowing even more effective.
First, be patient. Progress takes time, so don't get discouraged if you don't sound perfect right away.
Second, practice daily even for just 5 minutes. Consistency is more important than long practice sessions.
And third, have fun. Choose content that excites you, whether it's a podcast, a movie scene, or a motivational speech.
Remember, every time you shadow, you're getting one step closer to fluency. Keep going, and don't give up.
You've got this. We believe in you.
That brings us to the end of today's podcast. We hope you learned something new about shadowing and how it can improve your English.
Yes, shadowing is a powerful technique, and if you practice regularly, you'll see big improvements in your pronunciation fluency and confidence.
Don't forget to take on our 7-day shadowing challenge. And if you found this podcast helpful, please share it with your friends who are also learning English.
Make sure to subscribe to our podcast for more tips on English learning and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear about your progress.
Thanks for listening. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now and happy learning.